Radio Récré, c'est Radio Récré.
Radio Récré, la radio qui grandit avec vous.
Radio Récré, la radio qui grandit avec vous.
Good afternoon, madam. Thank you for coming to Collège Français Bilingue de Londres. We are in 6e, year 7. My name is Pierre and I'm with Leonie and Louis. We are doing this interview for Radio Récré, which is CFBL's radio program.
Good afternoon, madam. Could you please introduce yourself briefly?
Bonjour. Je m'appelle Sabrina Francis. I am the Deputy Mayor of Camden. I'm also a local councillor in Camden. You have to be a councillor to be able to be Deputy Mayor or Mayor. And I represent the area of Camden that's called Bloomsbury, which is just south of here, just south of Euston.
Good morning. Good afternoon, madam. Can you tell us what is the difference between a mayor and a deputy mayor?
In Camden, we have a mayor and a deputy mayor, and they are elected each May. The deputy mayor is like the year where you get to practice a little bit and you get to learn the ropes and prepare for your mayor year, because you're always in Camden mayor the year after you've been deputy mayor. So the mayor goes to lots of official events, and the deputy mayor can stand in for them or can go to some events as well if there's not time, because sometimes we get double booked.
How does one become Deputy Mayor of Camden?
You have to be elected a local councillor. So in Camden we have 56 councillors, and then one of those councillors is always the mayor and another one is always the deputy mayor, and we decide among ourselves who's going to have those roles.
Could you explain what your responsibilities will be as the Mayor of Camden?
As the Mayor of Camden, you are called the first citizen. So you have to chair a big meeting every 6 weeks, which is a big meeting of all the councillors, and the public can come and they can speak to us and they can talk to us about things that are happening in their area. And you also represent the borough. So you go to important events, you welcome people to the borough. So if we ever had a visit from the Queen or anyone really important, the mayor goes and visits them and makes sure they feel welcome. And you also get to visit community groups and schools and meet lots of people and represent the borough.
Do you spend more time working in an office or doing visits? Why do you visit schools?
Most councillors have a day job, so in that regard I am in an office quite a lot. But as mayor and as deputy mayor, you get to do lots and lots of visits and lots of different events. I've visited schools and I visited community groups and I visited residents groups. I really like visiting schools because I grew up in Camden, so I get to see what's happening these days and see how things have changed and how schools now have radio stations. They absolutely did not have that in my day, and just see what children who grew up in the borough I grew up in are getting up to now, and that's always really interesting for me.
Where did you grow up? How do you feel Camden has changed over the years?
I grew up in Camden, as I mentioned, so I went to Camden schools as well through my whole education. I went to Brecknock Primary School and I went to Camden School for Girls. Camden has changed a lot over the years. I think different areas are now a bit cooler than they used to be. It's really vibrant. You get to see different communities come in and out. So we have a very vibrant French community because we've got this school and other French schools. So it has been really interesting to see those changes.
Okay. We have read that you support various charities. Could you please tell us more about it?
Yes, when you are mayor, you get to pick a charity to support. I'm not mayor yet, so my charity isn't kind of officially sorted out. But this year, the mayor's charity is Solace, which is one that helps kind of victims who've been, people who've been a victim of domestic violence. And last year, it was a charity called Camden Music. So it raised lots of money and helped children who couldn't afford instruments get access to instruments and music. And the mayor, as well as chairing meetings and doing visits during their year, they do fundraising events so they can raise money for their chosen charity.
What would you like to achieve when you are mayor?
That's a big question. Because I am from Camden, as I've mentioned probably too many times, I really want the role of mayor to be a thing that people know about and understand that it's, you know, one of their own residents and someone who grew up in the area just like them. I will also like to raise a good amount of money for my chosen charity once that's all sorted and we've picked out who's that's going to be for next year.
What do you think of bilingual schools like CFBL?
I think they're great. I think increasingly in the world we live in, having a second or third or fourth, if you're really lucky, language can only help, really. I only did French up to GCSE level, so I think I've forgotten most of it. But I would love to have a second language and be confident enough to speak when I visited other countries. So I think the students that go to bilingual schools are very, very lucky.
Thank you very much, Madam, for visiting our school today.
Thank you.
Radio Récré, c'est Radio Récré.
Radio Récré, la radio qui grandit avec vous.
Radio Récré, la radio qui grandit avec vous.